watching another video from this channel. Today I'm going to talk about 4 different gelling agents and their potential application to be used in vaginal suppository. Now in this channel I have loaded a lot of videos on qualitative and quantitative analysis, mainly on reverse engineering of the product. I have loaded some video on analytical equipments and how to troubleshoot and repair. Now this video is different than the other ones, and it is talking about the formulation development. So I'm going to talk about 4 different gelling agents that could potentially be used in vaginal suppositories. Now these gelling agents, one of them is Xanthan gum, the other one is alginic acid, the third one is Carbomer, and the fourth one is Polycarbophil. Now I have made videos on some of them, but I haven't prepared any video on Polycarbophil by itself yet, which probably this is something I'm going to do in future. But very briefly, Xanthan gum, I have a video. It is a compendial excipient. It comes in different grades, different viscosity. Alginic acid, also it comes in different grades. It comes in low viscosity, mid viscosity, high viscosity. And in this one that I have here is a high viscosity sodium alginate. The other one is a Carbomer. This is again compendial excipient. I don't recall that I have made any video on the Carbomer yet, but this is a USB grade that comes at like a type A, type B, type C, and cross-linked. Now the one that I have here is the type 974P. And Polycarbophil is, again, as I said, is a new gelling agent. Now all these 4 gelling agents are prepared in water at 2% weight per weight. Now why 2% weight per weight? Because I look at the IAG database and I saw the gelling agent for the vaginal suppositories usually they come around 2%. So this is why I picked the 2%. Now the solution that I have here beside me, this is a simulated vaginal fluid. So I'm going to test these gelling agent in the vaginal fluid, simulated vaginal fluid, see how it is behaving. And I would like to apologize for using the phrase vaginal or vaginal fluid, and but for people like me and some of you that work in pharmaceutical long enough, you may end up working with, let's say, suppositories like rectal suppository, vaginal suppositories. You attend the meetings and you talk about them, so you become rather insensitive to it. But anyway, I'm going to leave it as that, and I apologize in advance. Now, the simulated vaginal fluid, there is a recipe for it that you can search it up. And as I recall, this solution contains salt, potassium hydroxide, calcium hydroxide, glycerin, urea, lactic acid, acetic acid, bovine serum, and I think this is it. I don't think I missed anything. So you could get all these excipients and just follow the recipe and make your simulated vaginal fluid. Now the simulated vaginal fluid pH is around 4.2. So the pH of a healthy individual, the vaginal fluid of a healthy individual is 4.2, and as the person is infected with bacteria or fungi, the pH rises to 7.2 or 7 or 6.8 depending on the infection. So, but for this video, I'm going to stick with the pH 4.2, that representative of a healthy individual. Now, because it is a simulated fluid is 4.2, so I'm going to adjust the pH of my gelling solution to be similar to the vaginal fluid. So I'm going to turn on the pH meter that I have here, and it is already calibrated. take these off one at a time. Because there's too much gelling material I have, I'm going to transfer a little bit in a beaker. I'm not going to adjust the solution, all of the solution that I have. I'm going to just transfer a little bit of each in a beaker, and I will just do the adjustment in there. So this is the viscosity of Xanthan gum 2% solution as is, without any pH adjustment. This is the sodium alginate high viscosity. It is quite viscous and it is hard to transfer even. Alginic acid itself, if you want to prepare it, actually it is very liquidy and it doesn't want to dissolve. And when the pH is adjusted to the neutral, the sodium alginate tend to have increases viscosity. Carbomer 974P, 2%. And the last is Polycarbophil, 2%. Okay, so I will start with the Xanthan gum. pH of the Xanthan gum 2%, it is already like a 6.2 or like a pH 5.8, and it's just dropping. So it is rather at a higher pH compared to the vaginal fluid. So I'm going to use hydrochloric acid, diluted hydrochloric acid, to decrease the pH a little bit. So this is 0.1% hydrochloric acid. Because the gelling agent is already too thick, and I'm going to use the pH probe itself as a mixing device. So I try to get close to 4. I don't necessarily need to be exactly at the target. So I think 4.3 is good enough. So I will leave it as that. I want to avoid cross-contamination. Next one is sodium alginate 2%. It is already very viscous and hard to stir. So sodium alginate 2% is already, again, it is pH 6. I'm going to use diluted hydrochloric acid to decrease the pH to around 4.2. This is for the consistency of the study, that all our gelling agent will have similar pH, similar to the simulated vaginal fluid. So that's the intention. pH is 5.48, 4.7 now. And a little bit more. Again, I don't want to be exactly the same, as long as it's close enough. I think that's as good for this video. So this is around like a 4.2. This is the target. I'm gonna clean this. So the next one is the Carbomer. The pH of the Carbomer 2%. It is very low. It's 2.8. So now I'm going to use sodium hydroxide for the pH adjustment. The Carbomer, as you have seen in my previous video, as you increase the pH, the viscosity of the Carbomer significantly increases as well. And so it is around 2.5. Lift this up, get it closer to myself. It's easier to work. It's not there yet. And as the pH rises, the pH of the Carbomer rises, it actually becomes transparent, become very, very nice. I mean, the Carbomer for the gel formulation is actually my first choice. And if your amount in the formulation is right, and you look at the safety issues, the safe at a certain amount for whatever the application you want to use it, the Carbomer is a pretty nice gelling agent. Okay, I think I'm almost there. Again, as I said, I don't have the intention to make it exactly the same. I mean, if it's close enough, it's close enough for this video. And because the gel is too thick, actually, it's a little difficult to get it all mixed or get it even accurate reading. I think I'll leave it there. But this is just extremely thick. As you can see, it's extremely thick material, and it's not really giving me the maybe the accurate pH measurement because the electrode is all covered with gel. And I'm going to do the pH adjustment of the last gelling agent, which is Polycarbophil. I'm going to lift it up close to myself so it's easier to work. The pH is as is, again, pH 2 is not, and I had maybe too much sodium hydroxide, but this Polycarbophil, it is behaving similar to the Carbomer. Again, when the pH is adjusted, the viscosity increases rapidly, and then it becomes transparent. It's similar to the Carbomer, and they actually have similar structures and with some differences. But both of these Carbomers have a lot of carboxylic acid moieties. I think again I'm going to leave it as that. There's a lot of gelling stuck to my pH electrode. So as you can see that the Xanthan gum initially was pH 5 point something, and with adjustment to the pH 4.2 or close to 4, viscosity is more or less the same. Sodium alginate is very high viscous. It was the highest when the pH was not adjusted. Now again, pH is adjusted. Viscosity is definitely more than Xanthan gum. It's not even coming out of the beaker. Carbomer was kind of liquidy or fluidy, and when it is adjusted, it definitely is not going to come. Oh, it came a little bit, but so it is very thick gel. And Carbophil again was liquidy, and again I'm not going to rock it this time, but this form a very thick gel. So if you are going to make your vaginal suppository, probably this is how the viscosity of your product gonna be. That you will use your applicator and then you deposit this in the body cavity. Okay, so what I'm going to do next is to add simulated vaginal fluid into these beakers that contains the adjusted pH of these 4 different gelling agents, and you will see how these gelling agents will behave in the presence of the simulated vaginal fluid. Now the vagina will hold somewhere between 3 to 5 ml of liquid. However, the product that you, the amount that you insert into the vagina probably is in the range of 5 grams. But in the beaker that I have is definitely more than 5 grams. So I'm trying to get the similar ratio, like a half and half maybe, to see how these gelling agent behaves in the presence of vaginal fluid. And a little bit more or less try to put the same in each, probably 1-to-1 ratio probably, and see how they are behaving. This is more or less 1-to-1 ratio. And I'm going to mix them up and see how they will become. First of all, the polycarbophil, I can immediately see that it is turning into a liquid. It's definitely losing its viscosity dramatically. Maybe some of it is due to the dilution, but some of them are actually, they are incompatibility with the vaginal fluid. It's a similar behavior to the Carbomer. It becomes very liquidy. I'm just going to switch to alginic acid, and in the case of alginic acid, it is rather picking up a little bit of viscosity. As I'm spinning, it becomes more and more and more viscous. And I explain what is happening when I'm done mixing. As you can see, this material actually thickening up very nicely. And the last one is my Xanthan gum. Because I've done this before, I know what to expect. I mean, the Xanthan gum definitely reduces the viscosity a little bit because I'm adding liquid to it. But in comparison, it doesn't increase viscosity nor decrease viscosity. It's unaffected, I would say. So what happens here in the case of Polycarbophil, I have a liquid, pretty much a liquid formation now, very low viscosity. Similar Carbomer that used to be extremely thick gel, now it is becoming into some sort of liquid formation, liquidy, maybe more viscous than the Polycarbophil, but definitely is liquidy. But in case of sodium alginate, I have very thick gel forming, extremely thick. It's very gooey, very gooey stuff. And Xanthan gum remain as is, a little bit reducing viscosity, but because it's added liquid, but other than that, it still retains the structure. So what is happening is that the simulated vaginal fluid contains calcium, and the calcium has a tendency to significantly increase the viscosity of the sodium alginate, and calcium has a tendency to significantly decrease the viscosity of Carbomer and Polycarbophil. And the calcium is more or less ineffective towards Xanthan gum. Now, if your company that working with is planning to make a drug that upon like when you insert it into the vagina, increases the viscosity of the dosage, definitely you need to have sodium alginate. If the intention is that after application the viscosity significantly decreases, definitely you will look at these two, that your initial dosage was very viscous and then they become something liquidy that is spread inside the vagina. I don't know what is the target, what is the objective. And if you want something that doesn't do much and no difference between before and after, definitely you want to look at the Xanthan cup. And in the vaginal suppositories, usually they make combination of these gelling agents and other gelling agents, not just these. Thank you very much for watching this video, and if you like this video and learned something, I appreciate you push the like button. And if I missed something and you want to tell me like a mistake or something, or some information that you have, please write a comment and I will read it and I will reply to you. Thank you very much and have a great time. So I'm going to do a major clean up here. Take care guys, bye.